Women over a certain age should not lean on sex appeal. It's a very bad strategy because it shows that you haven't accomplished anything other than being sexy. You have no depth, no experiences to share that can help improve the lives of others, no accomplishments that elevate you beyond your looks. It's dangerous and it's not a good strategy because there's a whole crop of 30 and 20 and even teenage people behind you that, obviously have that sex appeal that you're striving to cling to. It's not a good strategy over 35, really, leaning on sex appeal. 35, 40, yeah, maybe. But definitely after 40, it's very tricky unless you're like Kim K, and it's wearing thin for her. Because with even all the best makeup, the best cosmetic procedures, she still looks her age. A lot of women out here think that because they don't have any wrinkles, because they're in shape, they still look young. That is age blindness. And the reason why people are age blind a lot of times now is because they have better hair, all the tricks of the trade, all the glamour. But baby, we still see those hands, that neck, those feet, the ankles, like the way you are, the way you carry yourself, your soul, the heft of your soul, the amount of life experience that you've collected by 40. You can't help but to walk with a room with a heavy aura, which is not a bad thing. It's you come in and you know things. You should be that wise woman with experience and guidance at this point. That's what women should lean on after a certain point. But take a look at this video of this woman who makes a mistake of leaning on sex appeal after a certain age.
It's easy to look good when you're in your 20s, your 30s, maybe even in your 40s. But the real flex is pulling that off when you're in your 50s. But the dopest flex is when the 30s and the 40s are being compared to the 50 and 60-year-olds. Amen? But the dopest flex is when you can still pull in the granddaddy, the daddy, and the grandson. So, who's really winning?
She's letting people know that she's comfortable with her age, but at the same time, she is comparing herself to 30 and 40-year-old women. And you don't, at this point, why we don't compare. I'm not trying to be young anymore. I'm not trying to be young again. I'm happy with where I am, and I don't compare. And they definitely have youth on their side. If I were in the dating market, I wouldn't even compete. You can't. You have to lean on the weight of what you have to offer, which can be beauty and sex appeal, but that's going to be diminishing in relationship to the other things that you must have, which is high character, loyalty, experience, and success. Be realistic. The number one strategy for having success in life is to know where you rank. And when you're in competition with 30 and 40-year-olds in relationship to sex appeal, you're going to lose. You're not going to rank highly, not among the people who are supposed to be finding you sexy. So if you're competing for resources, mates, contracts, attention, positions, promotions, you've got to be mindful about who you really are. And the fact is that comparing yourself to younger women, it not only affects you in relationships with finding a male partner, but also with women. You don't want to show up into a room of 100 women as a 40-year-old woman trying to fit in with the 30-year-olds, because that's the easiest way to lose any respect. You've got to be realistic about where you rank in life. Be her. Don't try to be who you're not. And age blindness is a very big thing. Yeah, some people, you look young, but you're not. You're not. Your hairstyle may help you, but it's not doing anything to roll the clock back. I watched a video of a man talking about how millennials will often feel like they still look like teenagers. And it was really interesting.
So I made a post yesterday about how the millennials are suffering from a mass delusion, thinking that they still look like teenagers. And y'all proved my point. The entire comment.
Part of this comes from a major change in our society. Aging looks different. When we were kids watching the Golden Girls, they were in their 40s and 50s. And they had these old tiny hairstyles. I mean, she was supposed to be 47. And these days, 47 is supposed to look younger. Basically, until the 20th century, old age was from like 40 to death for women. And there was really only one look, haggard. And as our contemporary media encourages women to not age, but then derides us for having plastic surgery if we try not to age, it puts people in a very confusing mindset. Now, you couldn't pay me to go back to high school, but I do understand why so many people have this sort of age blindness.
So as you can see in that video, there are two people talking, and the girl who starts talking about the Golden Girls and their hairstyles and how different hair would make them look younger made some very valid points, okay? You look at Blanche, and she was supposed to be 47 on the show. Then they show what she would look like these days, probably with hair extensions, whatever. Yeah, she looks definitely younger, fresher, but she still looks 47 by today's standards. So even though your hair, your body may be you might be in the know of popular culture, you still have the experience of life, so embrace it. Don't try to lean on sex appeal. And be careful with dressing like a young person, trying to stay on the trends. It makes you look older. It makes you look desperate, actually. For example, this lady, she's obviously making a lot of desperate decisions, but look at this hair.
I'm 40, so there's like a...
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, so 12 years age difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 years, and you thought he was handsome as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you all exchanged numbers?
So she's on Judge whatever show for trying to steal somebody's sperm and get pregnant because she couldn't find a suitable man to settle down with and have a family. One of the reasons why she probably can't find a suitable man is because she's walking around living like an immature person in an immature state of mind with a hairstyle built for a fourth grader. Don't do this. There are some women who found great success with, dressing like high school kids or dressing like little kids. But that's for Instagram. That's for show business. That's not for real life. Look at somebody like Betsy Johnson. Betsy Johnson is an example of someone who dresses like a fourth grader, who has great success, but look at her life. Can you walk around at the grocery store looking like Betsy Johnson and think that you're going to have a good result? You're not going to have a good result. So keep the trends to one or two clothing items and then stay classic because you get the best results. Yeah, someone might listen to this video and say, well, I can wear whatever I want. I'm a woman over 40. I'm over 50. I can dress however I like. I do it for me. Fine, do it for you. This is for people who want to have success in the world, in society, who understand that as they navigate through the community, they're treated and respected based on appearance as a large factor. So yeah, do whatever you want for yourself, and you live for yourself all you want. Let's see how much success you have with that. And this is for people who want the best practices in life. So sure, yeah, do whatever you want that satisfies you. Get all the piercings and tattoos on your face as you want. But this is for people who understand that blending in actually can be a huge benefit if you're trying to excel and get to a certain point. People remember how you make them feel. That is key. And one of the ways you make people feel good is by showing up with respect, showing up that you respect them by looking your best. That's just a best practice. And trying to look young, it can be a disaster. You can look trendy and sexy and hip and all of that without doing it wrong. I'm going to say, without doing it wrong. And some people just need to learn how to do it well, how to balance the trends with the maturity, the elegance. Balancing trendiness with elegance, it is a trait to be learned. And here in the Dollhouse, we're going to start looking at how to balance trends with elegance and not looking trendy and desperate, trying to cling to a youth that is long gone. So we'll be talking soon, dolls.